Freshkills Park, a refreshing idea for landfill transformation. Presented for CE 4343 Solid Waste Management by Dr. Ronisha Worthy. Presented by Mitchell Benson. Situated on the western shore of Staten Island and along the Arthur Kill, Freshkills Park was named by Dutch settlers for fresh stream. Once the world's biggest landfill and visible from space, it is being transformed into one of the country's largest urban parks. The landfill was designed by Robert Moses and opened in 1948. Originally intended as a temporary site, the landfill ended up being open for over 53 years. In the 1990s, Freshkills was the sole receptacle for New York City residential waste. At its peak, the landfill had 500 employees transferring 12,000 tons per day onto the site. While originally intended to close in 2000, the landfill closing was delayed and delayed again after the 9/11 attacks, with some remains of the World Trade Center being put into the landfill before finally closing. Before closing, different ideas were being presented as to what to do with the space. The Municipal Art Society went to then Mayor Rudy Giuliani with the idea of not wasting the space, which is 3 times the size of Central Park, and conducting an international competition for the highest and best use. James Corner, who made the Highline site, won the competition with the idea of turning the site into a residential park. Designers, planners, and city agencies held meetings and workshops to discuss community needs of what they wanted to see at the site. Community vision meetings over priorities, worries, and what the city is missing were conducted to gather information. The Parks Department used it for development information and to create plans, then had another round of community feedback, after which designs were made. While being an incredibly impressive idea, it did not come without challenges. The site would need to undergo remediation to transform the land into safe, usable space. An engineered system was developed to lay out gas capturing pipes, an impermeable plastic layer, and a cover of topsoil to ensure public safety. With this process as well, the public was interviewed on their feelings about the park, and public safety was a huge issue. Garbage, contaminants, and the smell were also issues presented by the public. There were both regulatory and financial hurdles involved with this large-scale undertaking. Compliance standards on landfills affected the level of remediation needed, while the cost presented a challenge in funding. Due to the nature of landfills, gas, land subsidence, and leachates are always a concern with remediation. Landfill waste releases landfill gas, a mixture of about half methane and half CO2 with a small amount of organic compounds. The underground network of pipes that were installed as part of the project capture the gases being released from the waste decomposition. The gas then goes to an on-site processing plant where it is plugged into a grid pipeline. The gas is used to heat an equivalent of 22,000 homes on Staten Island. Land subsidence was also accounted for in the planning of this park. The different layers underground help to control erosion and any land subsidence. Any leachates that come out of the waste are processed in an on-site facility. The project was designed as a multi-staged opening to bring people in before full completion. There was 3 years of planning by the City Planning Department and Land Architecture Field Operations involved in this project. The plan was to design a process to grow the park and evolve over time instead of creating a master plan and then building out the entire site. The location has been developed from the outside in and starting with neighborhood projects with community input incorporated at every point. The final completion is scheduled for 2036. The park had its first soft opening in 2012. The original landfill had 4 different dumping locations which have been transformed into 4 different large hills. These hills are named after the cardinal directions, with the first site being the North Park. The South Park is the next one scheduled to open. Schmuel Park and Owl Hollow soccer fields opened in 2012. The 3.3-mile-long Springfield Greenway opened in 2015. There is a biking strip and pedestrian path which will eventually connect to the Staten Island Greenbelt. Here you can see people using the park facilities, including the soccer fields and biking trails. There is also a planned seed nursery where the public can get different plants. Freshkills Park is now the largest expanse of open land in the city, which provides a home for a variety of wildlife. This expansive landscape helps to restore ecological balance and provide wetland buffers for storms. The park serves as a world attraction and something that could serve as a model for other places to undergo similar projects. Here are the sources used for details and photographs for the video. I hope everyone enjoyed their time learning about this innovative project.